And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show with Shawn Gervais from OrbisX and Mr. Marshall Hill from hyperClean Products, as well as a Pints and Polishing podcast, who has now just cracked open something new. I haven't seen that one.
Full beer. Hazy Big Ballard.
Hazy Big Ballard. Okay.
No, and, really nice guy, listener on the Pints and Polishing podcast, sent in a bunch of beers, and this was one of them.
Nice. Right on. Jeez.
Yeah, we love it. We love when people send in beers.
Yeah. No complaints there. Huh?
No complaints.
Yeah. People don't send us anything but questions yet. It's off the clock, guys. You can send us all kinds of stuff. Yeah, but so
yeah, right. When are we gonna finally get somebody that goes, cool, this is off the clock, I'm gonna ask an off the clock question?
Yeah, exactly. Because everything's been pretty on the clock, you know? Yeah. Something off the clock. Well, last week though, with the questions I was asking you, those were kind of
fun. Oh yeah, you got more of those? You got more of those?
Yeah, I can pull those up too. Yeah. And but first, you had a good weekend? Big weekend this weekend?
Oh, 4th of July. Yeah. 4th of July was super fun. It was a whole weekend from like sleepovers or, stepson had somebody sleep over and we went and watched Minions.
Oh, yeah.
You into
Minions?
Out now,
huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Hilarious.
Of course, I got kids. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're great. Smoked a lot of barbecue.
Nice.
Nice.
A lot of barbecue. Off the clock show. Sometimes you got to smoke barbecue. Yeah, but
unfortunately, sometimes you have to smoke barbecue.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was interesting because it was a discussion between my wife over the past couple of weeks, right? Like she would say stuff like, we're gonna barbecue. I'm like, no. Yeah. But the words barbecue are different in many other places, right? Like there's plenty of people that go, yeah, I got some chicken out on the grill. We're doing a barbecue. No, that's not barbecue. That's grilling some chicken.
Grilling chicken.
Right? But that word is so interchanged. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to introduce her 4th of July, perfect weekend, America, to introduce her to like some true barbecue. And I used to barbecue quite a bit. It was post-divorce 2012, I decided I needed some hobbies. And so my first hobby was to learn how to smoke meat. And, and it was always fun because I'd host parties and give away all kinds of, because I was trying to learn how to do it. So I'd want to entertain people and smoke a bunch of stuff. And everybody want to take it home to their wives and be like, yeah, your wife likes my meat. I get it. Became a fun little joke. So I introduced her to good old barbecue. Started off with some baby back ribs.
Okay, yeah, nice.
You do ribs? You ever into ribs?
A little bit, yeah. My youngest though, she loves ribs. So for her, I make ribs. Yeah.
But beef or
usually pork.
Pork. Yeah. Okay, you do the big bone in or
big bone in.
Okay,
she loves it because she'll chew the bone and everything for flavor. Yeah, mi esposa. She must have heard us talking about ribs.
She's like, I got yours inside of me.
Exactly. Yeah. Wait, yeah. Biblical joke on the Off the Clock show.
Biblical joke. I didn't say bone. I said ribs. So
that's
true. Appropriate on the Off the Clock.
Yeah, it's amazing. One little difference in the word, She's got my bone in her.
At least a couple times.
Yeah. Well, we got 2 kids confirmed, so it's
at least twice.
Yeah, exactly.
But so falling off the bone type of rib, that's what I love, right? Like some people are like, no, I like to pick and chew at it. Like, no, I want that meat to fall right off the bone. Mission accomplished. And then
mission accomplished. Nice.
Have some brisket. I was eating it for lunch. Leftover brisket and a little roll. Came in handy on Sunday. So Sunday was day drinking, right? Like it was, I love 4th of July for the weekend off, as well as, we're busy with sales. It's a big sale day for us, but then I love to shop too. So, we went shop, took advantage of everybody else's sales. Like, it's just a fun weekend.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? Let's go grab some beers. Well, that turned into like, let's go to this place. And then we were playing, we played checkers at this one little brewery, just kept drinking beer, playing checkers. And we got home. We were like, God damn, that was like a full afternoon of day drinking. Like, way to go.
Yeah.
We did great. So then, you know,
Those
you
are
got
the
those
best
day
moments,
drinking, munchies, right? Like, so
Yeah.
found some rolls and some of the pork,
Jeez.
and you just, oh man, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I had for lunch. I had some brisket. And you can see, I mean, it's a good
Oh,
brisket,
yeah.
nice and moist, just falls
Look
apart.
at that.
Nice cap on the top. 12 hours,
Jeez.
full on smoke. I mean,
Oh,
good
man.
brisket. Yeah, that's barbecue, right?
Yeah.
Like, no
Yeah.
sauce, no sauce on barbecue. And some people argue with me. There's a lot of people that, like, they drench their barbecue in sauce. Like, it's like sushi.
Yeah.
You've had good sushi. Good sushi, you don't use soy sauce.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
sushi, you just eat the sushi.
Exactly.
Good
Yeah.
barbecue, you just eat the barbecue. You don't sauce it all up.
Yeah. I hear you though. Yeah. And there was a restaurant a buddy of mine owned, and they used to have nights where he was huge on smoking everything. Oh my God. And he did the same kind of, he was just experimenting all kind of stuff when he opened his place. And he was a great cook though. But yeah, so he used to have these nights. Half of it was like fine dining, then it was split. And the other half was kind of like a more modern sports lounge kind of thing. You know, they'd have whiskey tastings, but then at the same time, you know, the game would be on, stuff like that. So it was a nice fusion. But oh man, I don't know if you like duck, but he used to make this smoked duck. Oh my God, it was amazing. And I remember talking with him and his like head chef, and his head chef always wanted to sauce up everything, just everything. And he kept getting told no. So then he'd try and like sneak it in sometimes. And then some of the customers were complaining. And so the main guy, you know, he came and told us, he's like, listen, see, this is why. He said, you know, people that know. And then there's other people that, but it's the same thing with sushi and stuff like that. Like even my wife's cooking, when she cooks, I usually don't even eat hot sauce, nothing. It's just so well seasoned. It's just, everything's perfect. But then I'll eat other places, you know, and I'm like, man, I got to add something to this, you know, because it's just not up to par. But man, that for people that are listening to the audio only of this, go check it out on YouTube as well, because you got to see that when Marty pulls that apart. Man, that looked good.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have a cooking episode too.
Yeah. It's always fun. That's why we do on the podcast, right? We have that community pub and cooking with Nick. There's a guy that just started coming on, and he was always cooking.
Always cooking. Yeah, I remember.
So I was like, hey man, we're gonna do a cooking show. And so yeah, literally for like 2 or 3 minutes, and while he's prepping it, he tells us how he makes it, tells us what he's gonna put in. He's always got a really great meal. And then at the end, we come back and look at what he made. And yeah, I mean, it's we'd love to cook, man. I love to cook.
Oh man, cooking is relaxing, and I love cooking too. At the end of my day, it's just kind of, I get to be creative in other spaces, not just in business side. And it's a moment to think about the day, and you know.
I think it's the creative part that I like you said, like I love trying different stuff. So the ribs we got, and this is interesting. You know, I've always bought ribs in my meat, you know, these briskets, because I did it, you know, as I started getting to it, like I said, I first started as a hobby, but then I realized I actually got pretty good at it and people really liked it. Yeah. Right. There was a joke about, you know, you wife, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was one way that I started growing some local awareness, and my distribution was I would host events where I would smoke the barbecue. Right. And then I learned how to brew beer. So then I would smoke the barbecue and bring the beer. And you tell a bunch of detailers, hey, I got free barbecue and free beer. And oh, by the way, Sonax is going to be here talking about their products.
Yeah. Then
hey, magically you got a bunch of people that show up. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is one of the things now we talk about to our distributors, like, you know, hey, I need help doing such thing. Okay, why don't you host a party? Get some people some
best
stuff.
way to bring people out.
Just bring people out and start talking to them and host events. Like first, I didn't really sell anything. I was literally just come, eat some barbecue, drink some beer.
At first,
It was like, hey, we should learn something. Okay. The next one we learned how to polish, or differences between a rotary and a DA, you know, like just started educating things, and then it just continued to grow and grow and grow. So anytime you can take a hobby and interject it into your business to where your business becomes part of your life, the much more success
100%.
you have overall maintaining for 20 years.
100%. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I see a lot of guys, they post and they're like, oh, my shop's been kind of slow lately or something like that. And it's those kinds of things that it's like, well, when was the last time you had a community event? have a barbecue or get someone that
Community.
Yeah. And face painting is good too, because it gets the kids out. The kids are occupied, and then you're talking to parents, and they're like, oh, maybe I should clean my minivan, and so then just next thing you know, you got 20 customers just because you had a little barbecue type thing, and they're going to tell their friends and all this kind of stuff. And it could be something you start doing regularly, so whatever it happens to be. But yeah, that's where those little tips and tricks. But, all right. So you told me before you had a funny post though, or something.
Oh yeah.
It's
Okay.
killing me. I gotta.
Yeah. So it is funny because especially since some of the questions today were revolving around mobile detailers.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we still have, this was fun. I mean, this weekend, my mobile guy was out cleaning cars this weekend. Right. Beautiful. So Sunday, he had a full schedule, and I was out drinking beer. I mean, it was great. Like I get home to money, cash underneath my,
that's okay.
Yeah. I come home, I got cash underneath my mat. Like, hell yeah. This is awesome.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great day. How do you go from being, and this was in one of those groups, right? Where we talked about the level of intelligence inside these groups seems to, over the past couple of years, has reverted backwards in a sense, right? It seemed like the groups were kind of going, and maybe it was an influx and a clean out, right? Maybe a lot of people got cleared out with Corona and the shutdown, or, maybe that also means that in 2020 and 2021, the early part of 21, where there was a big boom, and 2020, where there's the boom in detailing, it also means that there was just a massive amount of people coming into the groups that were uneducated, right?
Uneducated, yeah.
Either
just
way,
inexperienced, new.
Either way, the mean, right? That middle, it got lowered, right? And we made jokes about it. Is what it is. Yeah. Here was the question.
All right.
How do you go from being mobile for years to opening a shop?
Okay.
I said, you sign a lease?
Open one.
Yeah.
I was just thinking,
right? Like, how do you do it? Like I sat there for a second too, and I was like, I'm guessing he probably really means, how do I transition my customers who are used to me being mobile, transition them over to delivering their vehicles to me at the shop? I'm guessing that's what was going through his head. Yeah. But remember that mean, IQ level.
Yeah.
And the question was simply, how do you go from mobile to a shop? Well, dumb questions get dumb answers. I know back in the day in high school, they used to tell you there's no dumb question. There certainly are fucking dumb questions.
Definitely.
And when you ask, how do I go? Well, you simply do it by opening a shop, right? Like, come on. His response was, no shit. Like, well, why fucking ask the question, motherfucker? Like,
that's because it's like saying, okay, so I've been walking around outside for a couple of days. How do I get inside the house? You open the fucking door.
You go inside.
Yeah. And I think, and it's funny you say that, because if his reply is no shit, it's like, well, maybe he should take that time and rethink his question, right? Because you got the answer exactly perfectly for the question that you asked. You know what I mean? Because it is that simple. If there's more info, like, how should I best choose a shop location, or what should I expect when I sign a lease? Like, how long should a lease be? What kind of terms? Asking these kinds of thought-provoking questions, I think, makes a lot more sense than how do I transition? You just fucking do it. You know what I mean? That's like saying, like, how do I become a detailer? You just get some business cards, maybe not even really, just start getting customers tomorrow and clean your cars. Like, it's congratulations.
How to become a professional detailer. Get somebody to pay you to clean their car, and you're a pro.
And you're a pro, exactly, because pros get paid.
By definition.
Pros get paid. That's the difference between. And that's where, because when it comes to opening the shop, let's touch on that real quick, because I see that one a lot. I see that a lot, and I think one thing a lot of people need to realize is that the shop solves a lot of their problems. And I have a shop, love having a shop, not a huge fan of mobile, but there is still a huge market out there for mobile. Someone might be really good at running the mobile side of their business and horrible in a shop, because they might be missing the other components to bring customers in. right? So I think that a better question would be, what should I look for in a location for a shop? Like, where should I be? Because you're taking away one aspect that they've been selling this whole time, is convenience. Guaranteed, if they've got a website, somewhere on their website, they talk about it's convenient, we come to you, and they're highlighting the benefits of their business model versus going to a shop. Now you're trying to do the exact opposite, and you've spent the last few years building up a customer base that you've been selling them on this. You've created this truth for them that, oh, it's better if you don't come to a shop. And so now you're going to convince them of the opposite. And I think the way to do it is like us, when we were looking what we should do, we took a look at what stuff was around us that could occupy somebody that they would have to do. So a good case in point, right across the street from us, huge grocery store. Right beside that, internet cafe. They give sandwiches, all kinds of stuff. So we partnered with the cafe. They now closed down thanks to Corona. But anyway, before that, they were open, and we partnered with them to buy wholesale coffee so we could give our customers free coffee over there. They could go sit there, get some work done, use the internet, have a sandwich, whatever. And then that occupied them. But then also there was the grocery store. So it was like, yeah, the mobile guy might come to you, but listen, you got to get groceries sometime. It's going to take you at least an hour, 2 hours. We'll have your car ready to go by the time you're done. So come drop your car off, go get your groceries, and then you're taking off when it's clean. So we were selling that convenience side of it, plus all the other benefits of the shop, right? But
yeah, and I think that should have been more of the question.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why I went there with it. Like, your question really should have been, in my thinking, when I thought of it, is like, how do I transition my customers?
Yeah.
Because if you want to shop, it's easy. Open a shop.
Open a shop tomorrow.
You're going to have to bring in new people. You're going to have new customers. Not 100%. Every one of your customers is going to still want to do mobile service. So if you really want to get to the nuts and bolts of what I would do, I'd do what I did before. I'd sell my mobile business and then go into my shop. My shop just happened to be a $1.6 million car wash. So, right, it made reason to sell because I was now going to be over here.
Exactly, yeah.
There's not much difference. And you go, well, why don't your customers just drive to you? Like you said, you sold them on your convenience.
The convenience. Yeah.
My customers, a mass majority of them were in a 7 square mile radius of where I was going to be in the car wash. I never for once thought that they would drive 7 miles. Now, big city, people are going, what? 7 miles? Like, that's easy. Not here. In Tulsa, that's 15 minutes away. That's 30 minutes back and forth. And you go, well, yeah, that's
plus
easy.
The time that they're there.
For you, that's easy. For us, it's not easy. We think 20 minutes and we go, there's no way in hell I'm giving up that much time. So I knew that my customers wouldn't make that 30-minute journey to get their car cleaned. I just knew they wouldn't do it. And they didn't. So I sold my business. Now, I cherry picked, which is what I had told the people that bought it. I said, I've got these couple people that are right by where my car wash is. Some longtime customers. So I'm selling you all these customers, but you're not getting these.
Makes sense. That's fair. And that's something you can do when you structure your own deal. Like you're selling your company, you set the terms, make the agreements, and then everything's good to go, So
and a couple other mobile detailers, they went in together and they bought my customer base and they split them up.
Perfect. Yeah. And see, that's really good advice actually for someone that is looking to transition. And that it's almost like that guy's question could be broken down into like 3 questions of possible scenarios. Like, should I sell? And does anyone have experience with that so that I can open up a shop, different brand, whatever the case may be? Or how does anyone have experience transitioning their mobile customers to shop customers? And how did that go? What was it like? Almost like just asking for people's experience on things versus like, how do I open a shop is like, how do you drink a can of beer? Open it and take a sip. like, I don't know. And then it's like, no shit. It's like, well, fuck, man. Like, what kind of question was that?
You asked a dumb question, man. Yeah. I didn't ask the question.
Yeah. And exactly. And I think too, at this stage of the game, we're all pretty well familiar with asking questions online and the types of responses that are out there. So like put some thought behind your question, and then maybe you'll get the answer you're looking for. No shit. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, that's interesting though. See, it's funny. Yeah, I think too, a good strategy, just touching on this last point, and then we'll dive into some questions, is that I think too, some people feel like they have to do one or the other. And it's very possible to maintain both, at least for a period of time. If you know your mobile is sustaining you.
If you can hire people,
Oh,
if you can
100%.
train people, if you can pay them, because most detailers
True.
don't want to pay their guys $8 an hour.
Well, when they open a shop, it's not going to get any better.
So you're right.
So that's where
if they'll go through those learning curves as owners of a business and not detailers.
And put it this way,
like,
I think they would have to strengthen who they are as a business owner first before venturing into a shop, because you're absolutely right. Because there's a lot bigger risks you're taking having a shop. Absolutely. I've seen, well, you've seen it too, I'm sure, where some guy posts and he's like, I can't believe it. My landlord's renting the spot right beside me to my competition. It's like, these things can happen. Like that's what happens. But I mean, just like how you see like Burger King and McDonald's right beside each other, like these things happen, and they find other ways of coping with it. So I think, strengthening who you are as a business person and understanding the full mechanics of your business before you dive in is crucial. But, all right. So we got 2 questions today though. Before we dive into those, should we do some fun questions?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. I remember we left off with that duck, the horse-sized duck last time. Okay, so wow, this is an interesting one. It kind of ties in with business here. So, how would you sell hot chocolate in Florida?
With ice cubes?
That's a really good reply to that. That's good actually. Yeah, I would wait for the chilly nights and then push it hard. But that's a good one. Ice cubes. That's a weird one. Oh, this one's kind of cool. Okay. You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be and why? I'm trying to think what colors are missing.
Oh, shit. Pass. I'm colorblind.
Pass.
Like, I mean, I really struggle with that. Like, I don't know. I can't. It's hard for me. So it's colorblind. It's tough to explain to people. And the way I explain is this: if you're trying to learn a new language, you can see the words and you see that they're letters. You see that they're together and they're going to form a word. You see it. You just don't know what that word means. That's the way I see a lot of colors. Like I can see the colors, right? Yeah. I just don't always see, or I don't always just translate what they mean.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Funny note about seeing colors and stuff. Do you know why Facebook, all their branding and their logo is blue?
Is Mark colorblind?
Yeah. It's one of the only colors you can see.
Yeah, that's why everything my favorite color.
Yeah. It's anyway, pretty interesting. Fun fact. All right, so we'll do.
That's probably why he and I also wear the same thing every day. Yeah.
That way it's just you don't have to try and choose and coordinate stuff. You just Plus it saves all those micro decisions that you don't have to make in a day. They keep your brain tip top for the big decisions. Yeah. It's the same thing. Like
I love walking into my closet and just getting the same shirt over and over. I love it.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I'll change like my, like I put a sweater or something like that, but it's always, I've got a closet just full of black shirts and then on the other half, white shirts. Yeah. I've got maybe 2 dress shirts that are different colors, but that's it. I just keep it simple. And all my pants are black, all of them. It's just simple. I don't have to think. My shoes are white. I'm good to go. Keep it simple. Oh man. Speaking of clothes though, I got a suit that I got to send you a video of. Oh my God. I had to order it from overseas. It's called the X suit. You could do like karate in this thing. It's super flexible. My wife dumped water on me and it just wicks off. It's like your whole body is ceramic coated. No joke. It is the suit of all suits. they started on Kickstarter. They raised like $400,000. They made the first prototype, then they made a second one, and then now they're on version 3, which I had in my cart, and then it got sold out. So anyways, I waited too long, but so I got version 2.1 is what they call it. I'm gonna send you a video of that thing. Holy man, it is something else. But I was thinking to do a commercial for our shop, something about like ceramic coating, and then like using the suit in the ad, like throwing shit on it, and then being like, see, this could happen to your car as well. But all right, one last question here.
And then you get to use it as a marketing expense. Woohoo!
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Absolutely. All right, so, this is, I already know your answer. Okay, if you woke up and you had 2,000 unread emails and you could only answer 300 of them, how would you choose which ones to answer?
Close.
I knew your answer because I know your inbox says like 15,000 or something.
Like Nick was on my ass last week, like, hey, you gotta check your email. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, man, I'll try. Like,
I'll try. Yeah. I'll check. I mean, I'll open it and then nah. Yeah, me, I check them all, every single one. I even go through the spam folder, make sure like nothing got missed, and then trash it as well. But yeah, 2,000 all at once. That usually only happens to me if I go on vacation and basically like cell phone off everything for the whole time. Usually I do 1 to 2 hours a day, even when we're on vacation, just because I got to keep up, or else when I get back, it's a mess, you know.
but I will say my answer would be, because my answer currently is now. I don't check every email. Pretty much I skim, make sure it's something that's spam, all kinds of spammy type companies that say, we're not going to spam you, but it seems like.
And then every 2 days you get something. Yeah.
You get an email and they're like, we're not spamming. We're letting you know some company information. I'm like,
yeah,
really? Like,
it's like, no one needs to know this. This is spam.
Yeah. Like,
so, okay, well, let's assume there were voicemails.
so
how would you prioritize?
dude, you don't even want to start. You want me to pull up my voicemails? Years ago, I said, this was like 2013 or 14. I mean, we're talking a long time ago.
Yeah.
I started leaving on my voicemail. Please do not leave a message. I need you to send me a text message.
Yeah. And you will get a reply, but not a voicemail. Yeah.
If you leave a voicemail, you won't get a reply.
Yeah.
Now I at least updated it and said, either call me immediately back, and then I'll know it's because I'm tired of wasting time on all the bot calls, right? Like, so if it's an unknown number, I'm not answering it. Yeah. If you call me back immediately, then I know that you're somebody that wants to talk to me. I'll answer the phone, or else you got to send me a text.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but on email, the answer though would be, I skim through, but then I look for, if somebody's on the site and send in those are really the only ones that I'm actually ever looking at.
Because they're revenue impacting, right? It's like someone that, hey, I'm looking to buy this product, or do you have this in a different size or something? Yeah. Those are the ones that, it's same thing with me. That's how I prioritize things. It's like I go by order of, I just quickly scan them and see like, okay, who's having the most problem, whatever I can fix, and then I also take a look at my schedule. I'm like, okay, I have 15 minutes left to pick up the kids. What can I handle in 15 minutes? And I just bang those out. But yeah, okay. And you just close the laptop. Fair enough.
And then wait for wait for the message. Hey, check the email. I'm like, oh,
yeah, exactly. So shit. But both of these, like both of our strategies, are actually really important business lessons, though, buried within, the jokes we're making. But so how to prioritize your time. And so what that means is checking through these like random emails. You're having to waste a lot of time trying to determine what's important. And a lot of people send stuff that's just like a huge paragraph, and it's like too long, didn't read. Like it's way too long. That's where the text message, though, it's going to be a lot more brief and straight to the point, I find. And so that's where, so that makes sense. My side, I often have to, it's technical stuff. People have to send me screenshots and shit, so I can't get away from the email. But sometimes if it's like too long, I'll just write back, like too long, didn't read, and then summarize it and send it back because it's, if it's a novel, like, come on, like it's, make some bullet points here, quick sentences, get to the point. You don't need the whole run around. Yeah. That's how you get back comments like no shit, right?
Bingo.
How do I open a shop? You call around, find a landlord that's renting a spot, and sign the paper.
Pony up the money, big boy.
Yeah, and that's it. Exactly. And then done. Here's your keys. It's like buying a house, except simpler, actually. But yeah. So, all right, we had 2 questions today.
Cool.
One was, okay, first one, cancellation fees. Got someone that he charges a deposit already for appointments. He's a mobile detailer, and he's wondering about cancellations. Should he, if someone doesn't show, let's say he shows up to their house and they're not answering or something, or they call him the day of and they say, hey, listen, unfortunately, we got to cancel. So he's thinking about charging cancellation fees because he's losing that extra revenue that time. Must have happened enough times that he's contemplating this. But he was wondering what the good, the bad are, and if he should, how much he should charge, a percentage or the full thing, or what he should do. So I'm curious for your feedback. I've already got my opinions on it, so I'll wait to get some feedback from you.
There's no right or wrong way. I don't think. I like the question. I think it's a good question, but I could understand why, because it really sucks when people cancel. It does, because you planned on that money and you plan on investing your time. You plan on doing something. Like now you got to figure out what you're going to do. And you go, oh, there's always plenty to do. Okay. Then you shouldn't be concerned about people canceling if there's always plenty to do. So if you always got plenty to do, then it doesn't matter if people cancel.
True.
Keep going.
You won't even feel
Who
it.
cares?
Just keep going.
Yeah.
True.
You might actually like it because it might give you that little bit of breather,
a little
to where
breathing room.
you can catch back up on something, right? Like whatever it is
true.
that you think you need to catch back up on.
100%.
But I always hated cancellations, and they would tell me, and I would just, is there any way, like,
that we can just keep this?
And you just go, God damn it. But I took it. I never asked my customer to pay me for canceling.
Yeah.
Because, there was this thing called the golden rule that people used to think about when they would handle customers. And listen, we've made this joke, like, we don't think that the customer is always right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fallacy that maybe used to.
Yeah.
Now there's a joint relationship between the two. And in a relationship, nobody's always 100% right. There's always give and take, and there should always be give and take on both
100%.
sides. So should you charge a cancellation fee? I personally never have. Could you do a deposit, and then if they back out, then you keep part of that deposit because it's written into your deposit part and they're well aware of it because they made a deposit? Sure. You're like a nail salon, right? That has select clientele and they can only service so many people. And so, if you're to that level that you've achieved, because most nail salons wouldn't charge you a fee.
They don't. Right? It's true.
Most hair salons wouldn't. Most service-based businesses, if I cancel on my pest control, they don't charge me. They ask when they can come back out.
Absolutely,
now, if I try and cancel and keep canceling, then they're probably going to realize that I don't really want the service. Mm-hmm. And there might be pick up.
And then
the
next time
they might try and actually get to the bottom of it. So shit happens for people. And if they got to cancel, I wouldn't charge a fee. My wife has had to go through this in the business she bought as a house cleaner. And I always ask her, why did they cancel? Right. Like, because if you keep getting the same why, then I was like, is this the same person? She's like, no, this is okay. Like, if it's the same person, they're always having a reason, then you need to make a move on from that customer because they're
100%,
inhibiting
yeah.
your business. But I wouldn't charge a cancellation fee.
Yeah, we're the same way, and most times we don't charge deposits either, unless it's something where if we have to order, like for example, vinyl wraps. If someone wants a wrap done, and we've got to order them in, some particular wrap or something like that, yeah, we'll charge a deposit. But usually it's just whatever our material cost is, and then or at least a portion of it, and then we'll just book them in. But for like detailing stuff like that, we usually don't do deposits unless it was someone that's canceled 3 times, or we look up their profile in OrbisX and it's like, oh fuck, the guy has like 4 no-shows. Obviously in those cases, but usually we don't do a deposit. We just tell them we need prepayment for the appointment, and we just tell them why. We say, look, we both know, like we've been tracking things on our end too. You have 4 no-shows. We gotta charge up front. And most of the times they are receptive because shit happens. And I bring up this guy in particular because there was a guy with 4 no-shows, but he had valid reasons each time. He just didn't give us notice ahead of time, so he no-showed. So I was like, look, man, like we want to help every customer we can, but you got to prepay, and here's why. Like we have to make sure staff are here. We have to make sure that like we don't overbook appointments, and people are generally understanding. And then there's the other guys that they just, oh, that's ridiculous, I'm not paying that. It's like, well, you no-showed 4 times, so you're not really a customer of ours anyways. Like that's not the clientele we're after. But what we do in OrbisX is
just let them go.
Yeah, just firing customers can save you a lot of headache. Like they usually say there's that 80-20 rule, right? It's something like 20% of your customers give you 80% of your headache, so if you can whittle that number down, you're gonna be better off. But what we do in OrbisX is number one, we track our cancellations. So it tracks no-shows, but also cancellations. The other part of it though is that when it comes to actually, looking up a customer profile and you can see their stats, okay, they've got this many cancellations, whatever. You can add in the journal. So we'll usually like journal, customer asked for this date, told them prepayment, so that next time we can go and we can see, oh geez, look, he didn't even want to prepay and he's no-showed a few times. So that's helpful. But the other thing is if customers try to, self-cancel, so when they get their appointment reminder and they go to cancel, there's actually a system built into OrbisX that can offer them a second chance offer to keep the appointment. So that's usually what we do is if someone's like, no, I need to cancel. A lot of people don't like doing it by phone. They like to, they can just click and cancel behind the scenes, but then it'll say, listen, if there's any way you can keep your appointment, we'll take 15% off. And then that way, try to book them in. If they still proceed with the cancel, that way, at least we know, okay, number one, call them instantly, find out why they were canceling, and then also ask if they want to reschedule. Those are the 2 main questions, I'd say. Then the third thing is whenever we're booking. So let's say it's Tuesday today and we're booking people in for, Friday and next Monday, stuff like that. When we talk to them, we ask them, hey, listen, occasionally we do have someone reschedule. We never say we have someone cancel because it just puts a negative energy out there. We say when we have someone reschedule, we do move appointments around to fill slots. Would you be available to being moved up earlier in the week if something opens up? And so that way we kind of build a wait list and we can see, okay, so if there is a cancellation, we have a list of people we can reach out to that could be there within, 20, 30 minutes. So it's a good practice to go, but we're the same. We don't charge cancellation fees. People have reasons, and trust me, customers usually don't even like making those calls to say like, hey, listen, I can't come in. Some of them dread it. That's why they just no-show. But everyone's got reasons. Sometimes the reasons are personal. So even asking sometimes why, they might not give you the real reason, but it is important to ask every time. But I feel like a cancellation fee, it's a fast way to just lose that customer forever, and for the sake of like, we can fill that spot with somebody else, no problem, because we've taken measures for that. So I feel like if you penalize them, like they're paying for something that they're not actually getting, like what are the odds that guy's going to come back? I don't know. I would argue that they're probably not going to use your service again if they're charged a cancellation fee. Yeah. But I mean, could go either way. Like you said, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just me personally. I book places like when I get hair appointments, stuff like that. I've called and say, hey, listen, that date, I thought it would work for me. It actually doesn't. I got to cancel my appointment. They'll ask me why, and I'll just be like, oh, this came up, whatever. And they'll say, when do you want to reschedule? Sometimes I do, and sometimes I say, I don't know. Let me check my schedule. I'll get back to you. Had they sent me, a link or a bill saying, like, hey, by the way, this is what's now charged, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it, man. I'm going somewhere else next time because, like, look, this was beyond my control and shit happens, but I called and gave you notice and now I'm being punished for that. So, yeah, that's what my recommendation would be don't, especially if you're already charging a deposit. Like, you set your deposit amount. That's kind of, we're holding the spot for you. That's what you've determined you'll make if they don't show up. So that seems fair, and the customer agrees to it beforehand. And yeah. All right. I think I beat that dead horse. But that's fine. It's the Off the Clock show. Hey, last week we were talking about fighting 100 duck-sized horses, so that's fine. It happens. So second question we'll touch on briefly is it's a simpler one, I think. It was a mobile detailer again, and he's wondering what to do if it rains, because he's obviously working outside. He does have a canopy, but he's concerned about customers saying, oh, it's going to rain, just cancel my appointment or stuff like that. And he's wondering what he can do to continue to make money in his profession while being a mobile detailer during inclement weather.
Yeah. All right. I got a threefold answer to this.
All right.
First, it's kind of ironic because as I was out, doing a little shopping on Sunday, grabbed some stuff, we're sitting at a stoplight and I look over and there's an older theater that I've kind of forgotten about. I hadn't been to in a really long time. And since I had my car wash, and I literally made a joke about this to my wife. I said, hey, you see the theater over there? Like, this was, and I told her the story about when it would rain at the car wash, because here in Oklahoma, it's not like Seattle, but we get our fair share of rain, right? Like, and many times in the spring or in the fall, it's tough to run a business around cleaning cars because people just go, well, it's going to rain in a couple of days. And I go,
they're like, nah.
So? And they're like, well, it'll wash my car. I'm like, all right. And you go, no, that doesn't happen. Listen, earlier we're talking about the IQ level inside some of these groups.
Yeah.
We're talking Oklahoma here. So you got to understand, right? We're 48th out of 50 in education. So it is what it is. Rain doesn't actually clean your car, but hey, it washes it. So, he's going to wash my car in a couple of days when it goddamn rains. So I don't need my truck cleaned. Like, sir, you see what's on this? The rain ain't going to clean it. Okay. So, right. I mean, so we
that's
would,
the mentality you're dealing with. So
yeah, when that's the mentality and you're pre-real any kind of internet, this was back when MySpace was out, right? Still very limited, very limited. Facebook had started to come out, but it was, you had to have that college email address.
Email address. Yeah.
So, I was in Facebook, but you really couldn't do anything with it. So
definitely no business stuff.
Definitely no business stuff. And so we would all grab food, grab drinks, go and watch movies. Like, it's what we did. We entertained ourselves. And, as a mobile detailer, which would have been, the year before, and then plus, the 3 years I operated it, once again, we didn't really there wasn't anything else to do. Like, granted, you could go make cold calls. Is what, no internet. What could you do? You could go make cold calls. But I played a shit ton of video games.
Yeah. kept busy.
It's what it is. What do you do? Yeah. I didn't really do anything productive. And I played a whole lot of Tiger Woods golf. Right? Because you could upgrade your player and he could do listen, dude, we played a shit ton of Tiger Woods PGA.
Oh man.
So that's my first answer. Like, pre-internet, especially pre-social media, and here there wasn't really anything, unless you're just going to go pound the pavement and do cold calls, which,
that's an important part of the business.
It's an important part of the business. It really is.
And there's definitely other stuff you could get organized with.
I chose to blow off my rainy days. Like, not saying that that's right. That's why I'm saying there's three different parts to this, right? Not necessarily saying that was the 100% way to do it. I'm just telling you what I did. I fucked it off a lot, right? Yeah. Played games, watched movies, went drinking.
Those moments are important too, though, because you have to live life a little as well. And I don't know about you, but for me, when I take time off, it usually is brief, but when I do, that's when a lot of really good ideas come, or so I'm always, because I never turn this off. This is always still working, so I think, but yeah, it's, I looked up just to see, because anyone can do this, just plug in your city in Google. How many days does it rain in Oklahoma? Plug that in. So on average, 55 days per year. Okay. And it says it's been decreasing as well to about 45 days. So not sure why, but good to know. So these are the kind of things that you can do, and you can study weather patterns as well to see, like what your year could look like up ahead. And then you can start to make those non-rainy days really count, and so that's where planning ahead for that, because you should be doing other things too, like seeing how many holidays are there this year? What days do they fall on? Look that ahead in advance and plan your whole year around that. So it's like, okay, so I know this many days I'm not going to be working. This many days my customers aren't going to be working, and they're going to be, like off at the cottage or God knows where. So you can plan ahead. That's how you can start to figure out what your real goal is. Because when people are like, oh, I need to make, $200 a day, it's like, okay, are you factoring in 365 days out of the year? So now minus all the holidays and all the days you're going to be out with friends and all that stuff, that number starts to trim down quite fast. So you've got to look at those other days now. Okay, that's my real working days. How do I maximize that time? And,
definitely.
Yeah.
And if recreation is good for you, then recreate. I mean, I had I had basically two businesses running out of that business, mobile detailing, as well as I was power washing. I had accounts that I was cleaning. We've talked about it, cleaning restaurants, cleaning banks. We were power washing at night. So, if it was freezing, because we also then, it wasn't just rain here, right? We also would have weeks in the winter where it didn't get above freezing, right? Like, so you got all these reasons that I couldn't make money cleaning cars. So I had to then power wash stuff at night, clean other things, like just had to. So if I had a day that I could blow off, I blew it off. I was in my 20s. Like, of course, that's what you do. But post social media, post internet, number one thing you could do is cold calls, but not cold calls, right? Like, go into, which I've told people you should regularly be inside of your local Facebook groups. It's a great time then 100%. To go spend marketing, right? But not selling. Go market, just talk to people, go spend time inside groups, go leave comments on people's, go find your customers' social medias and leave comments. There's so many things that you can do just on your phone. That's why people always talk about, I got to unplug. Well, you could also just stay plugged in, but plug in just in a different spot. What if you, sometimes I do this, I'll go to a bar to work. That doesn't make sense. I go, well, I get it. I need to edit these videos. I want to have some drinks. I want some stuff going on, maybe some music, and then I can just zone in and work, but I've got enough stuff going on that keeps me, something fresh. And then I don't have to unplug. I can stay plugged in. I just use a different outlet somewhere, right? Like, I can still stay plugged into what I'm doing, but maybe on a rainy day, if you like to drink, go to a bar then. You go, I know that can be risky. You're telling people to go to bars. I get it. Okay, go eat somewhere. Go for a hike. I don't know. Go someplace that maybe you're not normally at, and then work from there. See what that does, because you're still investing your time into your business, which should bear some fruit, and you're not totally fucking off your day. And yet you're putting yourself into a new place that maybe you get to meet people, or maybe you just get fresh ideas or whatever, but at least you're still investing time. Third fold part of this answer is a perfect reason why we tell people to get into distribution. Perfect reason, because if it's raining, you can now set up a whole new side of your business that, not everybody's closed. You just because you're mobile and you're down, it doesn't mean everybody's closed. So you could start investing time, and it might take you years. It might, It might take you years of continuing when it's a rainy day to go make some sales calls. And it might. It took me 6 months to land my first dealership account. 6 months. But 2 years into it,
geez.
I was humping. 3 years, 4, 5, like it just begins to continue to multiply and grow. So distributing hyperclean. And if you're mobile, you like talking to people and you got a rainy day. I mean, you got plenty of people you could go see, probably hundreds of people.
100%.
And then you got a whole new group of people on Facebook groups, the car clubs. They don't want to talk to you about detailing, but they love chemicals. And if you could help show them, maybe you do a little video and you edit some video. Like you could pull your car in a garage. You could put your car in some covered area, and you could even be talking to people doing videos saying, I know it's raining, but I want to show you guys how to use these products. You just do demos for them. You show them how to care for their car with hyperclean. You'd be very, very surprised at how your rainy days turn into $100 days, $1,000 days, $2,000 days off selling product through Facebook groups.
That's true. Yeah. And those videos could actually be used for other marketing stuff as well, because you could even show your existing customers, like, this is how we care for your vehicle. You know, these are the products we use, stuff like that. So it would be twofold, I think, in that case. But yeah, that's definitely where I think, you know, diversifying your income is hugely important. And we've seen that more now than ever with everything that's happened with the pandemic and stuff, where there was a huge boost. Everyone that jumped into this industry, they were like, man, cloud nine. They were just raking in the money. But then as things started to slow down, increase competition and stuff like that, I think people are really seeing what happens when you have a one-trick pony and you've just got that one source of income. And then it's like, well, shit, what do I do rainy days? Like here, for example, we get slower in the winter because it's winter. We don't slow right down, but we get slower than obviously, you know, spring and summer. But we have so many other businesses on the go as well that, like, for example, our tinting, we're not tinting as many windows in the winter as we are spring, as people are preparing for summer. But we do residential tinting, we do business tinting. So we will go, and we just did a gym. They were getting new yoga room built, and we did basically these frosted glass in between, so you couldn't see in, but they could see out and stuff. So, you know, we did stuff like that, these commercial jobs that it doesn't matter. There could be a hurricane outside. Well, we probably wouldn't do it in a hurricane, but my point is, it could be, you know, a hailstorm, snow, rain, doesn't matter. We're indoors doing that kind of work, and as long as we can transport ourselves there safely, then we get the job done. So there's a lot of things you can do, and distribution of products is a great one, because first off, you're already going to be, you know, saving money on your own products, but then also now you're able to distribute those to detail shops around you and other mobile detailers that are also taking the day off because it's raining. Perfect time to call them up and be like, hey, listen, we're in different territories, but I got this great product I got to introduce you to, yada, yada, yada. And then conversation goes from there. So, yeah, good answers. Yeah, that was a solid answer. And I was happy there too, because I don't have too much input. Mine's all hypothetical, because like we did windshields mobile, but if it rained, we just did them at our shop instead. So yeah, so that was good. I mean, I have ideas of what I would do if I was in that situation, but you nailed it on the head. So yeah, it was a good talk. All right, awesome. So anything else, Marty? No, I think we're good. Yeah, it was a good chat today. There's a lot for people to digest. And so yeah, we'll have some more funny questions next week, and hopefully see some more no shit posts. Good stuff, man. All right, we'll see you next week, Marty. Thanks for your time.
All right, bro. Have a great week.
All right, bro. Later.
See ya.